to riff off an old Chris Rock stand-up bit.
Looks more like stealing to me.
You say potato, I say potato. In your bigger families, your uncles were the platonic ideals of pretty much every man you would meet in your life. You had your cool uncle, your criminal uncle, your drunk uncle.
That was you, wasn't it?
Your pervy uncle, and then there was your business uncle.
I'm not familiar with that term.
Oh, you know that uncle. That uncle always had a plan to get rich quick and was going to make you rich as well. In my family, that was my Uncle Jim. Jim wasn't a bad guy. He was just the kind of guy who was always coming to you with his next big deal.
Pork bellies, soybeans.
Jim was in the local Junior Chamber of Commerce, the JCs, an organization which builds itself as a, quote, leadership training service organization and civic organization for people between the ages of 18 and 40, unquote. But in reality, it seemed to be either a drinking club for used car salesmen or a drinking club for wannabe entrepreneurs.
Swindler and con man.
Entrepreneur.
Many of them were. Now, Jim was not a swindler or con man, but he was always the first one on the ground floor of some new business opportunity.
It's an emu farm!
Or an investment opportunity.
Bulgarian wheat balls.
And for a small investment on your part, Jim would cut you in on the deal. For the life of me, I could not tell you what Jim's actual job was. I know he had one in some sort of junior managerial role, but neither I nor any member of my family could tell you exactly what he did for a living. He was just one of those guys that was always on the precipice of the deal of a lifetime, like, you know, chicken rentals.
Those chickens are rentals.
And that deal inevitably fell apart, and then he was on to the next deal of a lifetime. Jim never lost big because Jim never had enough money to lose big. So if you were to become one of his junior partners, you didn't really risk all that much money.
$10, $100.
But it became clear over the years that breaking even was unlikely and making money was impossible, so people stopped doing business with Jim. But in those early days, Jim would often drag a family member into his schemes, and that is how sometime in the late 1970s, my childhood home became filled with off-brand kitchen cleaners and generic snack foods that my parents were supposed to sell so that they could make their fortune.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.